Hey everybody, today we're going to show you where to find Metyr, Mother of Fingers, the secret boss here in Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree by completing Count Ymir's quest. So let's jump into it. So to start this quest, you want to make your way over to the Cathedral of Manish Metyr, Site of Grace. You guys can see that location here on your screen. And once you make it into the cathedral, all we're going to do is work our way to the back, where you're going to find Count Ymir sitting on the throne. Now, as we approach, we'll be able to talk. We'll go ahead and speak with Ymir, go through all of his dialogue. And then once you end up finishing the dialogue, he's going to give you a map. And you guys can see this is going to be Ruins map number 1. So once you have the first map, we're going to head over to the Cerulean Coast Site of Grace. You guys can see that location here. We're going to show you how to get to the first bell from this Site of Grace, since this one is pretty popular, and we can get there from here. Now we'll speed up the video a little bit to save you some time, but essentially what you want to do is go past this dragon as we head south. You're going to see this large structure on your right as well as on your left. It's going to be a pathway leading up the hill, and this is where you're actually able to pick up the map from out here. As soon as you get to the structure on the left, you want to hang a left and follow the path that leads down to the beach. You guys can see that here. It's going to take you all the way down. You will have a couple enemies down here. You guys can see a hand crawling around. You do want to watch out for this guy. But really, if you just stay on your horse, you should be able to get past him with no issue. We're going to go to the edge of the beach, and then we can cross the sand that kind of goes out into the water to get to the other side. We're just going to follow this up, and then we're going to take a left and go up this ramp, and we're going to have a Site of Grace that's just over this ramp on the right side. So go up the stairs here, you can take a right, you'll be able to drop down right over here. You can see our marker, and then we're just going to open up this Site of Grace. Now, essentially all we need to do from here is work our way to the bottom of the Finger Mountain, as I'll call it. And it's pretty easy to spot. You really don't need too much of a guide to get down here. There's just a ton of fingers, and then at the very bottom there's going to be like a little circle of fingers. You can see it directly in front of us. However, as you're approaching down here, you're going to get stunned a lot. There's a lot of enemies that are going to shoot that little pink orb at you, and it's going to completely stun you. Now, these guys aren't extremely dangerous. You can see they're not going to take an insane amount of health. So really all I can do is get back up, hop on my horse, heal a little bit, and continue to move along. I don't think it's worth stopping to try to fight all these guys. You're going to risk dying, and it's going to take a lot more time. So if you just keep hopping on your horse, eventually you can work your way down to this little finger altar. When you get down here right in the middle, you can interact right here. This is going to ring the first bell. Now, once you've rang the first bell, we're going to make our way back over to the cathedral where we started the quest. So we can go ahead and take that Site of Grace. And all we're going to do is go and speak with Ymir once more. This time when we speak with him, he's going to give us the second Ruins map for the next bell. So we'll go ahead and speak with him here. Just go through all of his dialogue. And once he finishes speaking, you guys can see we're going to get Ruins map number 2. And once you get the second Ruins map, you want to make your way over to the Bonnie Village Site of Grace. And if you work your way just northeast, you guys can see right up here where my marker and my character is, right in between these trees, you're going to find a dead tree with an item on a corpse. And that item is going to be a gesture called Oh Mother. And we're going to need that to be able to get to the second bell. Once you have that gesture, the next thing we're going to do is make our way to the Shadowkeep Back Gate Site of Grace on the far northern side of the map. And once you're here, we're going to immediately take a right and go right over here to this statue. And what you want to do is use the Oh Mother gesture in front of this statue, and it's going to open a secret entrance. We'll go ahead and select Oh Mother. Go ahead and bend down. It'll go through the gesture animation. And as it does, you guys will see the statue will move to the right and open up a secret passageway, which actually opens up a pretty big part of the map back here. So now what we're going to do is work our way to the second bell that we need to ring. So once we get down here, we're going to hop on our horse and work our way down the stairs. And we'll speed this up a little bit to save you some time. But essentially, you're just going to follow this path on ground level. We're not going to go to the right. We're going to stay on the main path here, and you're just going to follow this all the way to the back. You guys can see we're going to have a bridge here. Essentially, we're going to come across the same situation that we did with the first bell. We're going to have a Site of Grace right here at the end of the bridge that you can grab in case you die. And then we're just going to work our way down another Finger Mountain. Now, this one's extremely cloudy or foggy, so it can be a little bit difficult to see. But again, you don't need too much of a guide here. You're really just working your way all the way down the mountain until you see the weird looking circle of fingers like an altar that we can ring the bell at. I'm staying to the right here. You're going to run into a lot more of those enemies that are going to stun you, especially at this one. I would say more so this one than the first one, and you guys will see. I'm not going to cut it. I'll let you see exactly how this plays out. But as you work your way down the mountain, again, you'll start to see more and more fingers. Continue to work our way down, and you can see directly in front of us down there is where the altar is going to be. And we're already getting stunned. So just be very careful. I tried to stay on the right here and use the fingers as protection to not get hit. But as you can see, I ended up getting hit several times. Again, I can't stress this enough. Don't waste your time stopping and trying to fight all these things. There's a whole bunch of them. So just continuously hop back on your horse and just keep moving. You can see the circle of fingers is going to be right here in front of us. And by the time you get there, they'll stop attacking you, so you won't have to worry about it. But once we make it to the big circle, we'll go right here in the middle. Once again, it'll look just like the last one. We can interact, and this will ring the second bell. Now that you've rang the second bell, the last thing we need to do is make our way back over to the cathedral. And once we're here, we are once again going to go speak with Metyr, who is on the throne. And this time, essentially what we're going to do, we're going to get a third ruins map, but really what we want to do is exhaust this dialogue. So we'll go ahead and speak with him for a bit. Once you finish the main dialogue here, he's going to give you another map. And what I recommend doing, I had a little bit of issues with this. What I recommend doing is just clicking on him again and talk through everything he wants to talk about. So there's really only 2 or 3 options here. Just select all of his dialogue and let him talk. And then we can ask about Miquella here. And then once we've ran through all the dialogue, the next thing we want to do is walk back, and then we're going to take a left, and there's going to be a guy standing right here against this column. You want to speak with this guy until he says, "Now be on your way." You'll have a little bit of dialogue if you haven't already talked to him, but just keep talking to him until he says, "Now be on your way." And once he does, you just want to come sit down at this site of grace, stand back up, and now when you go back into the room, Metyr is not going to be on the throne. Now, if you run into an issue where Metyr is still sitting on the throne, just keep talking with him and then go talk to the guy again that's standing against the column. I had to do this a couple times just because I don't think I exhausted all the dialogue between the 2 characters. But if he's still sitting on the throne, just keep exhausting through all the dialogue and you should be able to get him to leave. Another thing is I tried to teleport back to the site of grace instead of going and just sitting down on it. So if you're having problems and you're trying to teleport by opening up your map, just walk over there and sit down and then try it, as that should help as well. But all you need to do once he's gone is interact with that throne, and you'll see that it'll move and open up a ladder that's going to lead you down here. Now, all you need to do is make it to the top. However, you're going to have a surprise little boss battle. You guys can see as you work your way up this pathway, he's going to end up spawning right in front of you. So just be prepared for that. It's not that difficult as a boss. You guys can see we're taking down the health pretty quickly. All you need to do is take him out really quickly. You'll get yourself the Claws of Night. And then once you're done with him, all you need to do is continue your way up the path. And you guys will see the final bell is going to be at the very top. We can run all the way up here. And once we make it to the top, we can interact for the third and final time. And this time, when you ring the bell, it's going to cue a little cutscene and take you to the boss fight. You guys will see here, I'm going to cue to black and take us into the boss fight. And from here, you can fight the boss. And yeah, this is going to be how to do it. All you need to do is defeat the boss. Once you do, you'll be rewarded with the remembrance. And you're good to go. But this is going to be how to complete Count Ymyr's quest here in Elden Ring and find the secret boss, the Mother of Fingers. Hopefully this video helps some of you guys out. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.